demonization, the sins against Indigenous people didn't disappear in 2015 when Pope Francis arrived in Bolivia to express sorrow and regret. The apology was a huge moment, a heartfelt, long-fought-for moment.
Pido humildemente perdón, no solo por las ofensas de la propia Iglesia, sino por los crímenes contra los pueblos originarios durante la llamada conquista de América.
But still not universally accepted.
A
simple apology is not the way to erase our entire historical past, all the oppression carried out for 500 plus years.
Jesus Oscar Jumeirez is Amarayan, among the 40% of people in Bolivia who are indigenous, and, he says, among a sizable group unmoved by the Pope's regret. See that graffiti? It's on a wall near where indigenous protesters were killed. It effectively bellows that the church is associated with violence and danger. Jumeirez, acutely aware of the trauma at home and in Canada. He says news of the rediscovery of those unmarked graves rocked Bolivia too, but expecting a trip to the Vatican and an apology to help ease the trauma, forget it.
If our brothers in Canada are going to visit him, I don't know exactly, but I just don't see. I just don't agree with it. It's like if someone killed your children, your ancestors, your fathers, your mothers. And I think in the name of dignity, you just shouldn't join those spaces.
His anger is palpable, and those in Canada pushing hard for a papal apology now know all about it and the risks of great expectations. So does the Church.
They're going to walk into those meetings and they're going to have lots of things to say. And Pope Francis wants to hear it.
Canadian Michael Swan is with the Catholic Register, is in Rome now, and he says the Pope knows his role with the delegations is to listen.
It's one thing to know about the residential schools. It's another thing to sit with a survivor and hear their story, know what happened in their family, know what happened in their community from them. That's what he wants. He wants that direct experience of their suffering.
An apology won't likely come at these meetings, but the signs are this is a prelude to that happening in Canada perhaps this year. The Pope may also be sending a message to bishops in this country.
He needs them to hear that he understands the crisis the church is in Canada, and that he wants them to do better. He wants them to do more than raise $30 million and make the media shut up. We took away their language. What do we do now? We do whatever we can with them, for them, to restore that language.
The idea that an apology that comes with real work could make a difference also has precedence in Bolivia.
The apology helped heal historic wounds.
Carlos Cordero is a Bolivian political science professor, Catholic, and of mestizo heritage. He was there that day to witness the apology and says the presence of the Pope was a lift to dignity.
Above all, the apology and the presence of the Pope encouraged the advancement of indigenous people and equal participation in all forms of governmental and social life.
He says to see Evo Morales, the first indigenous president of Bolivia, call the Pope "my papa" went a long way to soothing serious and enduring hurt. So too was the measure of the words.
En esta tierra.
Unlike a past apology by Pope John Paul II in 1992 in the Americas, which was seen as vague, Pope Francis's words were specific and forceful, and he was characteristically humble.
Digamos sí al encuentro entre pueblos y culturas, felices los que trabajan por la paz.
This too an important lesson for the Canadian context. The Catholic Church in Canada, eager, it seems, to find a way to not just apologize forcefully, but find a way to keep the faith connected with First Nation, Inuit, and Métis communities.
And when you heal,
You're free of all your heavy feelings.
Consider Mass in North Vancouver, BC, one that fully integrates the symbols and culture and language particular to the Squamish people of this community.
Easque quis wa eatawe. And you'll become stronger in your hearts when you pray.
Deacon Rennie Nahani is an elder in the Squamish Nation. His sermon this Sunday about healing, about the church as a place where that can happen. To be Indigenous and Catholic, he says, is a struggle.
I belong to that church that did those things. But I can't leave it because the church I grew up in, I learned from my elders who also went to residential school. The trauma, it's still there. It's unresolved.
He will be at home when the delegations are in Rome, but he'll be watching carefully, knows what he needs to see and hear.
We need our culture, our language, our spirituality, which was taken away from us by the church. Mm-hmm. We want the church to return that to us.
There is hard emotional work ahead, and an apology may serve as a step, hardly a solution.